And he came to see me and he said, Dr. Jain, I understand you survived the tsunami. I said, yes, I'm one of those few lucky ones. So he said something very interesting. He said, Dr. Jain, do you know, in this whole tsunami, not a single animal died, which is true. Just like in India, you have animals on the street. That is very true in Thailand also. So, and the day he spoke to me, this was 28th or the 29th of December, CNN had already reported 163,000 deaths. So I asked him, do I look like an animal? Why are you telling me this? He said, no, Dr. Jain. He said that I personally, I own an elephant. And that morning, my elephant broke the chain and ran away. So I told him, probably your elephant ran, but he also ran in the right direction. The water was coming from all the sources. So I asked him, why are you telling me this? So he puts his arms around me and he said, Dr. Jain, you get used to sitting on leather chairs and comfortable sofas. Animals have their feet on the ground. So that morning when they felt the earthquake, they knew this is not the ground on which they normally live. So their instincts forced them to move towards mountains and plains. I thought this was a very useful lesson of life. So when I came back to Kellogg, I called my students. And I said, even in tsunami, I learned a very important lesson of life. And the lesson is, at the time of crisis, people who make the right decisions are the ones who have their feet on the ground. People who are in touch with reality. If you look at the last 10 years and see the number of CEOs who were asked to leave a company, most of them had very little idea of what was happening in the company. They spent more time before video cameras rather than spending time with the customers and employees. Don't lose touch of reality. Have your feet on the ground. That was the lesson I learned. And my feet on the ground for all of us in this room means don't lose touch of your chain balance. That's the foundation we are standing on, and that is the foundation on which we are going to build the future castles. Those are the ground foundation on which we will build the plants. They will blossom and make the world a better and a safer place. No, she had a question, I just need to answer. Okay, last question. Yes.
So just as companies succeed and fail, so like companies 10 years ago might have been successful and now 10 years later, vice versa, maybe companies that failed and now are successful, they've adapted to environmental changes or they've changed their strategies, whatnot. So in the same sense, in our personal lives as Jain, what type of advice do you have for us to kind of stay successful?
Companies that were successful and became unsuccessful. The reason is when your success becomes, or the success becomes the factor for your failure. Because when you are successful, you also become complacent. So you think things are going well, why change? But for you to remain successful, you have to continuously innovate. So my advice to all of us in this room is continue to build yourself. Things don't change, you have to change. Which means every day think that you are a renewed person. There is a Chinese saying, you never jump in the same river twice. The river is the same, the flow of current has changed. So the same thing applies to us. We have to continuously invest in ourselves. As parents, I truly believe that whatever, that's why I said, take a moment. People call it meditation. I call it reflection. Take 5 minutes in the day to think about who you are, what you have achieved, and what are some of the other things you want to do or share with others. It would give you a renewed spirit, and do that with yourself and people around you. Companies have to do the same thing to think about renewal, how they can stay in the business by doing something new and different. Same thing, we cannot be there, as somebody said, you cannot solve today's problems with the skills you learned yesterday. So same as we have to renew the skills, renew the capabilities, the world is changing, so we have to change and become more robust to deal with those changes. Invest in yourself and believe in yourself. And I want to just tell you one story. 1979, September 9th, I started my teaching career, 22 years old, lecturer in mathematics. So I asked my advisor, my department head, saying that I am going to teach my first class. Do you have any piece of advice for me? He said, Dipak, I don't know anything about mathematics or statistics, I can tell you what to teach. I said, I'm not asking for mathematics advice. Anything you want to share with me. He said one sentence that I have never forgotten. He said, Dipak, when your shadow becomes longer than your height, remember, the sun is about to set. When your shadow becomes longer than your height, remember the sun is about to set. Shadow is your virtual image. Be yourself. Don't try to pretend to be someone. Don't think there will be someone always there to protect you. At the end, we have to stand on our own feet. We have to face the reality. So make yourself brave, strong, robust. Take the help of the people around you, but do what you think is best for you and for the organizations you work for, or the people you work with or work for. Believe in them and do your best. I have been blessed to meet several people who have helped me reach where I am. Any opportunity I get to share my views with others, I never hesitate to do that. Never hesitate to ask, and never hesitate to give. If you ask a question, you become food for a moment. If you don't, you remain food forever. Right? So never hesitate. Have this intellectual curiosity in your mind to ask if you have any doubts. Do what you think is right. Follow the advice. If many people get advice, you benefit from it. Do take those advice to your heart. And I tell you, there will always be someone to help you reach where you want to if you have the intentions. I wish you all the very best.